Welcome to Diary of an Ex-Ho. I'm Cheri Hardman. I'm your ex-ho, and today's guest is Courtney Brennan. So sit back, relax, enjoy the episode, and remember the old saying, always a bridesmaid when you're a hoe.
My name is Courtney Brennan. I am a woman, she, her. I'm from Florida originally, but right now I'm in Seattle, and who knows where I'll end up next. I also, I'm single legally, but I am in a relationship with a man, and that was 4 of 5. I don't know.
It was just orientation. So would you call yourself straight?
Yes, I'm straight. I have thought about being, like, I've had, bisexual thoughts, but I think I'm definitely straight at this point. I don't need to explore that anymore because I know.
Okay. We're gonna do a Mary Shag Kill real quick.
Sweet.
Right on the fly. I don't know anything about you, so I was looking at your page, and then I was like, oh, okay. It mentions like hiking and surfboarding, so I tried to look up celebrities that did that, but everybody that were giving me was hella old, and I'm like, she looks pretty young, and I'm like, so doesn't matter if you want to kill all 3 of these persons, that's fine. But I had to find. So finally, I just went with. Are you straight or?
Yeah, I'm straight. I know that's unusual for Seattle.
I know. I kind of. Okay. So I just picked. It said the hottest male celebrities.
Perfect.
So I don't know if you agree or not. We'll find out. Marry one. You got to marry one. You got to shag one. You got to kill one. And there they are.
Ooh, we got some good ones here. Okay. Well,
So I guess for anyone listening and not watching, Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth, Chris Evans. Who are you going to marry? Who are you going to shag? Who are you going to kill?
I think I'll immediately kill Chris Evans.
Okay.
I'll shag both of the Hemsworths, but I'll marry whoever has more money. That way I can stir up some internal family drama. It just seems like it would be more fun.
There you go. That sounds right. Sounds kind of oh God, what was that movie that everybody was watching not that long ago? Saltburn. Sounds kind of Saltburn like. All
Ooh, I
right.
gotta watch
Bye to Chris Evans. He's gotta go.
that. Which one did you think was the hottest?
They all look pretty much identical to me.
They do.
Wasn't enough variety. I like someone that looks a little maybe dirtier, I guess. They all
Blue
looked
collar.
they looked very well scrubbed. So
I agree.
let's see. Or I like somebody that's like quirky cute like Paul Rudd.
Oh God, if he would have been on there. Jeez.
Yeah. I can tell my dogs are getting ready to bark. I might have to shut the door. Okay, so when it comes to sex, would you rather watch or be watched?
Probably watch. I have some performance anxiety.
Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna shut this door. I don't have to worry about it. I'm such a protector. Boom. I would say I'll edit that out, and then I never do. All right, when you were growing up, like what did your parents or whoever raised you, what do they call private parts?
Private parts, up until, I don't know, maybe I was like 11. my dad and my mom, they were very reserved. My dad's a marriage and family therapist, so he was always just more on like the prudish side, especially when talking to us. But my grandma is so unfiltered. She finds every reason to say penis or balls, like, and she'll throw it into conversation. So she was very unfiltered about it. And we couldn't really stop her after, like maybe 10 years old.
Right. Um, so are your parents still together?
No, my mom actually, she left when I was about 9 or 10. She's got her whole like life going on. She's got like 6 kids. She's had some prostitution charges. She lives
Mm,
a very colorful life.
okay. So, uh, but that doesn't preclude, okay. So did your dad get remarried or anything like that?
Yeah, he married another therapist, so they're very
Or
fun.
do you think were they good role models for like a relationship or no?
My dad for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, even though like his marriage with my mom didn't quite work out, he tried very hard. He's like, I love my dad. I think I'm a daddy's girl forever. Just the best role model. I think especially with his background, he has a lot of obviously professional training in that
Right.
category. So even if I had like relationship problems of my own, he was always there to answer questions and he would come at it very democratically. He wasn't like being a dad, like, oh, no one can touch my daughter. He was very open and really just understanding about my
Right.
situations and looked at me as a person, which was cool.
Oh, that's cool. Um,
Yeah.
how did their relationship affect your relationships, do you think? Or have they?
It's hard to say. I mean, I've always been in really like long-term relationships. I had a couple of small hoe phases, which is why I left this podcast name. I was like, oh, I have like mini episodes, but for the most part, my dad's always preached stability. So I think I'm like more of a traditional person just at heart, luckily. So that's what I seek in relationships and um, very communicative. So if someone doesn't share that same end goal with me, then I'm like, well, maybe it's not going to work and cut things off pretty quick.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a good effect that he had on you.
Oh,
Okay, so
yeah.
now I want to talk to you about like what I call sexual awakening. So, like the point in your life when you realized, wait a minute, there's something going on that I didn't really know about before, whether it was somebody told you about sex or uh, changes in your body or something you observed. Can you kind of tell me about that?
Yeah, so I had cousins growing up. They were just a little bit older than me, like maybe between like 1 and 3 years. So they were obviously influential within like it was really middle school when we all started getting curious and like, oh, I kissed a boy the other day, like at the skating rink. Like that, I think I had my first kiss in middle school behind a video game. And then from there I was like, oh, what is this all about? And being my dad tried to have like the sex talk with me and I cut him off. I was like, I don't need you. I have the internet. Like I've already looked this all up. I've done my research. So really just having access to the internet at like age 12 was very enlightening. I don't know. I think some people are like, oh, it fries everyone's brains, but I think it's a good thing. Like we were able to see sex and porn and things like that as a young kid rather than have to talk to your parents about it because that's a very squeamish topic for a lot of people. You're not going to get the information you really want from your parents. They're just going to say, be safe. But there's so much more to the psychology of it where, you got to find out what your kinks are and what kind of things really turn you on. And having access to that younger, I mean, you can explore that within yourself. So it's a pretty cool resource.
Mhm. I never thought of it that way, but it makes sense because yeah, we were just stumbling our way through it back in my day. We didn't know diddly. Uh, did you have any
You have to go
celebrity?
through it with like other people.
Well, I remember like at one point I've told the story before, but like at a slumber party, and I think we were like fourth grade, and it was like And I remember the girl telling us about sex and saying, and the technical word for it is sex. And then we went around the room like, oh, well, we have two kids, so my parents did it 2 times, you know. So we all thought like that was that. That's all we knew back then. Um,
Well, there's always myths too. I also watched, you ever see that show that was on like super late? I don't even know what channel. It was I was talking to someone about this the other day. It's like Sex Talk with Sue.
Sue Johansson, yeah.
Ah, yeah, like that. My friend and I, we'd have slumber parties and stay up super late just to watch her. And we were just like, butt plugs. Oh my God, it's so funny. And then, you get older and you're like, well, she was actually very informed. That was
Right.
a
And
good resource.
it was so funny coming out of her mouth because she was just this little old granny looking lady.
Yeah.
Grannies can get it too, so it's all good.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
did you have any celebrity crushes when you were younger?
Actually, definitely Ryan Reynolds, forever. I don't know why. Him and Paul Rudd for sure were like two that come to mind. And then beyond that, I had a scene phase and like during MySpace, so like all of those like MySpace people that people would like, catfish with. I liked their like spiky hair and stuff, but I don't know their name. One of them might be like Sunny something. Uh, but no one that I was like obsessed with. I think I had a Chad Michael Murray poster on my wall at some point, but nothing too crazy.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, do you know, and this doesn't even have to be when you're a kid, but can you think of like a mainstream movie that you've watched at some point that had like a scene that you really found uh, sexy or did something for you?
Hmm, did something for me. I know I watched Superbad like 100 times.
Mhm.
And they have like this scene where he's drawing all the dicks, like over and like this, like on everything. He's like drawing it on everything. And I thought that was very entertaining because like I hadn't seen penises very much at that point. So I'm like, oh
Right.
my God, there's so many penises in this. I love it.
That's funny. My mom and I just went to the movie yesterday and we saw a movie called Abigail.
Hmm.
It's kind of a vampire movie and it's about this young ballerina and it's a vampire movie. But there was one part where there was all these bad guys together and while one of them falls asleep, one of them puts a dick on his face. But the funny thing is that like there's all this horror going on in this room, and then someone just goes, "Why do you have a dick on your face?" It was just kind of funny that it was mentioned right in the middle of all that chaos.
I'll have to check that out. I love vampires and dicks, so
Right. Uh, well, you said you okay. Do you like regularly watch porn, or do you consume porn on a regular
um
basis? Or
yeah, I think for me it's a little different because I like the audio
mm,
more of an audio file. I don't know. That's always been my niche. Like I like the like a story almost, like some like guide
right.
me through it sort of situation. And but
Uh-huh.
that's more of a recent discovery, like the past few years. I'm like, oh, this is what does it like the most. So prior to that, yeah, I've just consumed different types, a variety, if you will, and seen what works.
Mm-hmm. Right. What is your definition of amazing sex?
So I'm more of a submissive person when it comes to like what I really seek, and that's more of a recent awakening too, like the past year or so. Um, Definitely someone who takes me through it and knows what to say and when to say it and how
Mhm.
to say it. It's definitely like an audio thing for me and like a dirty talk sort of situation. I have a partner right now who really like checks all the boxes and it was like very natural how that connection worked out and we just so happen to have very complementary taste. So it's been working really well. Only one other person before him like really had that same connection and that flow. Prior to that, I was engaged and I was with someone for 7 years who just we had like fun times, we had weird times, and obviously over 7 years you keep it spicy somehow and you try to experiment with that person, but never tapped into what I really liked, which was
Mm-hmm.
definitely the more dominant like person and also willing to explore. So
Mm-hmm. You want to play? Let's play. We're gonna spin the wheel of sex questions. So
ooh.
I'm gonna go do that. Gotta get out of here.
Did you have a alternate in case I was a lesbian?
No. I was like, well, then you're gonna just have to kill them all or something. I don't know. We'll just deal with it.
As a society?
Yeah. Have you ever cheated on anyone?
Yes, not sexually, but emotionally. So I mean, there was like sexy talk and text, but the guy I was in Florida at the time and he lived in LA. And yeah, I was in another long-term relationship with someone. It was kind of abusive. And this guy, like I don't know, we locked eyes because he was in Florida for business where I worked and we were working together on a project. And then yeah, we just like were not inseparable, obviously, because we physically weren't together, but we just connected. And then, yeah, I still get dick pics from him to this day, actually. Uh,
Did you ever get
but it
discovered?
never became.
Did you ever get discovered or did it just
Yes, so that was bad. Because I was with this guy for 4 years, and then, like I said, like it got abusive the last 2 years, and I started talking to the other guy. I was like planning my escape, like I'm gonna move to California. I'm gonna go take this job over here and move in with this guy or whatever. And we hadn't talked in a while, actually. I kind of like started getting back into my abusive relationship, like, oh, I'm gonna make this work. And then the guy texted me and he just, it's crazy. We never had any physical connection or anything, but he texted me, I haven't felt the same since I've been with you, which I was like, we've never even like been together. This has always been virtual. And my I fell asleep on my couch and my ex came home and picked up my phone and he just started going through like my diary in my phone and seeing things and kind of discovered the whole situation and was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I don't think he got physical with me that time, but he did hurt my cat. So hated that. But then yeah, he moved me out like the next day and was like, get the fuck out of my life. I'm like, okay.
mm,
It was pretty bad, pretty brutal. But yeah, that guy still has a thing for me. So I don't know. That was weird. I haven't talked to him in years. I still will like receive a dick pic here and there, and that's it. He'll just and then like no context, and then he'll like apologize like 5 hours later. He's like, sorry for the dick pic.
guys are so funny. So funny. How's your body
Guys are
image?
crazy.
I know. Like what? I don't
Mostly good. Depends if I'm on. Hmm?
nothing. I was just thinking about dick pics, like why they feel the need to just take them. It's like if I've already seen one of your dick pics, I don't really need to see another one. It's the same dick. It's not going to get any bigger or more spectacular.
He's discovering new and exciting angles is what I've discovered. Like he sends like it's always unique. Sometimes he's standing up in a mirror and so, like the last one was like a few months ago, he was laying down and it was from like POV of like his balls. Um so that was cool. That one it looked the biggest actually. I'm like, "Oh, what's he been doing?" Um it's always been curved to the left a little. So I know too much. I hate I should block him, but it's kind of funny. Like it's kind of I'm like, what am I gonna get next? Maybe one day he'll like transition and there won't be any dick left, and he'll need these memories.
All right,
Um,
now back to your body image. How is that?
Very good. I would say it's pretty consistently good. I know how to dress for my figure, and I take good care of myself, so I'm able to feel confident in my body, but if I'm on my period, I would say the opposite. Like I'm like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight. I don't look good. Like I feel so down on myself. But I was a size like 8 when I was engaged. So I was getting like a little thicker compared to like where I normally sit. And then once I left that relationship, I went down to a size 0. So been feeling myself for like the past year. I've been like, holy shit, like who is this woman? Like I feel more confident than I ever have. But not that size really matters, but that's always kind of what stuck out to me. I think just probably because of my childhood and upbringing, that's what they valued. So,
Mhm. What's the best compliment you've ever gotten on your naked body?
ooh, I get a lot of compliments on my butt, which is nice. And I always try to accentuate that part of me. So I'm like, thank you. I've always worked really hard. Can I say one that I've gotten on my clothed body instead? Because this one
Okay.
was the best. I used to work out like 3 to 4 hours a day, like really hardcore in the paint every single day in the gym, and I would work on my butt a lot. And I had this client at my old job, and he was an older black man, and he goes, "Damn, you're not built like," or he said, "You're not built like other white girls." His wife goes, "That's a compliment." And I was like, I know. I almost cried. I was like, thank you so much. That means so much. I work out so hard. Like, I appreciate
Yeah. Uh, do you have any sexual regrets?
um no. I mean, there's people I wish I didn't give a chance to, but my body count's like not super high. I'm pretty selective when it comes to who I'll sleep with. There was one guy that I like had like a one night stand with back in Portland, and I was just telling someone about this last night. I'm like, I don't even know that guy's last name. He's an enigma, and that was like the riskiest thing I've ever done. Because afterward, I was like, what if he has something? Like, I don't know this guy. It really freaked me out. So I went and got tested. Like, I did the whole thing, and so once I tested clean, I was like, okay, I don't regret it. It was a really fun time, but I'm gonna be.
You're cutting out right there. Oh, losing the connection.
Yeah,
There.
my dad was calling. I had to hang up
Oh,
on it.
okay. Do you have any items on your bucket list, sexual bucket list, that is, that you haven't done yet that you'd like to try?
So my current partner and I have been exploring the possibility of like shibari because he really wants to do it. And I'm like, that could be very interesting. We already have a very dynamic sexual relationship, and we know we're open to explore more of like the dom sub sort of thing. So that's kind of like the next step within that. I do really want to try. I think it's very sexy, very beautiful, and he's actually made some art using shibari as like the subject. So I'd love part of it with him. It'd be really cool, and I think we would do it well.
Um, I just recently learned what that was because somebody was on this show and talked about it. So you want to just say what it is for someone that might not know?
Yeah, so it's like tying someone up with ropes, and it's got a lot to do with like the dom sub situation. They have more control, and they tie you up if they want you and put you in like different positions with the ropes.
Looks like you're cutting out. We're almost done though. We're almost done. So,
No worries.
uh, what's your Instagram?
Puddle of scum. I have to remind people it's not puddles of cum.
Okay. And this will come out probably like the second week of June. Do you have anything around that time that you want to promote?
Um, no, I'm doing a festival right before then, but after that, I think the only booking I have is like July 5th, and I'm not sure where it's at, but I will post once I get a flyer.
Okay. And I didn't prepare you for this, but maybe I did a little bit on the sign up sheet. Now it's just, oh no, I forgot something. What's your host song? What song
My
when you hear
house
it just wakes up your host spirit?
song. It's like I have one, but I can't think of it. Oh, Desire by Meg Myers.
Okay. So I'm just going to take everyone's host songs and make myself a playlist.
That one's hot. There's a remix of it by Hoochie that it's like a little bit more bassy and it's a sexual song. Like she's just a really great singer.
Cool. All right. So now we've come to the time where I'm going to have you tell me a sex story that's happened to you, something you've done that was unusual, funny, humiliating, embarrassing. I don't care. So take as long as you need to think about it. And
I
whenever you're
did
ready.
I did some homework, so I knew this question was coming. So I thought of a couple, but I was debating between two because one of them happened in Florida. I used to have annual passes to the theme park Islands of Adventure and Universal. So I go there all the time. I was very comfortable doing things in that park that I shouldn't have been doing, like just going into the back rooms, doing drugs there. Like I would like trip on acid there, all kinds of shenanigans with my ex-fiance. And one time we were pretty drunk and the park was closing up. It probably was like 8:30. They closed at like 9, so it was dark out. And we stumbled over into a bush in Jurassic Park. And like the music's still going and you can hear it in the bush. It was like dinosaur sounds, all of it. And we were like, we gotta fuck here. We gotta do it. We gotta bang in Jurassic Park for the memories, for the story. Because now, like, I always win when people are like, what's the weirdest place you've had sex? I'm like,
Oh,
Jurassic Park. Like,
that's a
no one
good
else
one.
has done that.
Right.
Yeah. And then the other one, if you don't mind, it was in Mexico and it was just this older Canadian couple. They gave us this leaf. They said it was like weed. It wasn't. But when they came to give it to us at our room in this resort, it was just the husband and he walks in our room. He was barely wearing anything. And I was like on the toilet and he was like, do you guys want to have a threesome? And we were like, no, no, we don't. Who are you? We don't even know you. It's so weird. That's about it.
Okay. Um, all right. Well, thanks, Courtney. It was a lot of fun meeting you and all that. And I'll let you know when this is coming out. Well, you'll know because I'll tag you. So um, thank
Yeah.
you. It was a lot
Thank
of
you
fun.
for having me.
Uh, all right. I'm glad we got everything all figured out. So, all right.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too.